Welcome back to Splendid Tales, where justice always finds its way home. If you're new here, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss a single twist. Terrence Boyd had never met a wall he couldn't buy his way through. His father's name alone could silence a principal, fire a teacher, and rewrite a report card. So when the new chemistry teacher, Miss Grace Collins, gave him a failing grade, he took it as a personal insult. He strutted into her classroom like it was a courtroom he already owned. "You must have made a mistake," he said, waving the paper like a contract. "I don't fail. My father." Grace lifted her eyes slowly, her calm composure like still water over fire. "Then maybe your father should take the exam." The class gasped, half in fear, half in delight. Terrence's smirk twitched. "You really don't know who you're talking to, do you?" "I do," she replied evenly. "A young man who thinks fear equals respect." Something in her tone made the air shift. His ego burned hotter than the Bunsen flame beside him, so he decided to test her, knocking a beaker from the table and leaning close enough for his whisper to sting. "Watch yourself," he murmured. "People like me don't lose." Grace's answer was simple, her voice like steel wrapped in silk. "Then you've never met someone like me. If you're feeling this tension already, hit like and subscribe. This class is just getting started." By the next morning, the whole school buzzed. Terrence had turned the incident into a performance, telling anyone who would listen that the new teacher freaked out. His friends laughed, feeding his arrogance. "She'll be gone by Friday," one joked. Terrence grinned, believing it. After all, every storm he'd caused before had been neatly swept away by his father's money. Miss Collins, however, showed up to class like nothing happened. Her posture straight, her tone patient, her lessons steady. Even the air around her carried quiet authority. She called on Terrence to demonstrate an experiment. "Show the class how to handle a reaction properly," she said, passing him a flask. He scoffed. "You mean how to handle a woman properly?" His friends chuckled, and for a moment she just looked at him. Not angry, not afraid, just deeply disappointed. That silence cut sharper than any insult. When the principal came by for an informal chat, Grace didn't defend herself. She simply handed over the attendance sheet and said, "Everything's in order." Her calm unsettled everyone, especially Terrence. That night, Grace drove home quietly. Her daughter, Ava, hummed in the back seat. On the passenger seat sat a folded letter, a memory from her late husband, Sergeant Nathan Collins. "Grace, never raise your voice when you can raise your standard." She smiled faintly. "Message received," she whispered. "If you're enjoying how this tension's building, make sure you like and subscribe. The real chemistry hasn't even started." Rumors spread faster than wildfire. By Wednesday, half the teachers whispered that Miss Collins would soon be transferred. Terrence walked the halls like a king who'd won another battle. He even passed Grace in the corridor, flashing a smug smile. "Told you, Miss C, my dad's having dinner with the superintendent tonight," he said. "Might as well start packing." She didn't even blink. "Dinner's good," she said softly. "You'll need strength for what's coming." That calm answer bothered him more than any insult. He turned to his friends. "She's weird, man. Acts like she knows something." That evening, as the sun fell behind the campus, two black SUVs pulled into the parking lot. Out stepped two quiet men in suits, military posture, eyes scanning. They weren't there for a parent meeting. They asked for Miss Collins. In her classroom, under the soft hum of the ceiling fan, they spoke low. "Ma'am, the request was approved. We'll coordinate tomorrow." Terrence, lurking nearby to gloat, caught only fragments. Review, footage, protocol. He frowned. "Footage of what?" he muttered. The next morning, posters appeared around the school. "Leadership and Conduct Initiative, Special Assembly Friday." Terrence laughed. "Perfect. They'll announce her transfer in front of everyone." Grace simply smiled, adjusting her glasses. "Assemblies are for lessons, Terrence," says Zatter. "Some just take longer to learn." If you can feel the storm brewing, drop a like and subscribe. You're not ready for what's next. Friday arrived, the air thick with whispers and anticipation. The gym buzzed as students filled the bleachers, expecting drama. Terrence sat front row, legs crossed, smirk locked in place. His father stood proudly beside the principal, ready to make an example of the unprofessional teacher. Then the projector flickered to life. "Before we begin," the principal said nervously, "we've been asked to present something for context." The footage rolled. Security camera clips from the chemistry lab. Every shove, every insult, every cruel word Terrence had spat at Miss Collins played before the entire school. The final shot. Him grabbing her arm. Gasps echoed. His father's face drained of color. Then a new voice came through the speakers. Firm, commanding. This is Agent Grace Collins, U.S. Army veteran, federal behavioral specialist, and consultant to the Department of Education's Integrity Task Force. The gym went dead silent. Grace stepped forward, calm as ever. Discipline isn't cruelty, she said, eyes locking on Terrence. It's love that refuses to let arrogance win. Terrence's father tried to speak, but the superintendent interrupted. Your son will be expelled pending review, and your donations don't buy immunity anymore. Terrence bowed his head. The mighty boy who thought he ruled the school now silent before the woman he tried to humiliate. Grace walked out slowly, her composure unbroken. Question for the viewers. If you were in Grace's shoes, would you have stayed calm or shown your power sooner?